Come, mortals. Enter my realm, if you dare.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and thank you for joining me for a very special and possibly very long one here with the finale for the role quest. So we have the level 90 Bitter Snow. The glint in Sarabath's eye suggests she is hoping that you might pass through. Isn't Claire, all around good egg and champion of, well, the whole bloody world, I guess. Word travels fast, my friend. We've all heard of your exploits defeating the Blasphemies that plague the good people of Eorzea and Doma. Sadly, there are other fell beasts that yet want for slaying, but fear not, our efforts to bring them low proceed apace, and we've had not but glad tidings from our allies. In fact, we but recently received word from the resistance forces in Bogia that a blasphemy was slain, thanks in no small part to Lord Hien's timely assistance. Perhaps the most surprising report came from Werlet, where soldiers led by the infamous Black Wolf fought alongside Alamegan troops for yet another hard-earned victory. Reports from Garlemald, however, suggest another blasphemy threat lurks in the snows, and we received a petition for assistance. We're going back to Garlemald now. Strange, don't you think? When the effects of the final days began to spread in earnest, we encountered a great many monsters in Garlemald, but never a blasphemy. And to make matters worse, they say the Garleans who chose to remain and rebuild have begun transforming into yet more hideous creatures. From what I understand, it was you and your comrades who brought an end to the swords of the final days, is that right? Even so, it appears its effects will linger a while longer. Until this malevolent influence on Akasha subsides, I dare say this won't be the last time we hear such sightings. As for the blasphemy, we have reason to believe it's a great deal stronger than any we've faced thus far. Your strength and experience would prove quite valuable if you're willing to help, of course. Well, why not? I mean, one more. What's one more? Truly, our contacts in Charlian will be thrilled to hear it. Though they did not explicitly request your presence, it was clear from the first that they were hoping for it. Though if I may be frank, I was not expecting Charlian, of all places, to be so concerned with the present state of Garlemald. Well, with their strict policies of non-intervention, perhaps we'll find out the reason before this is all over. But that's an inquiry on another time. I'll not keep you any longer. Once you arrive in Garlemald, I should think the intelligent officer stationed there will be more than happy to apprise you of the situation. I mean, I have a very good idea to why they're so concerned. I mean, Fortuno knows that his children are there in Garlemald helping to bring the relief efforts. So he's probably concerned about his children. So maybe that's one of the reasons why he's so interested in making sure this blasphemy is dealt with. Alright. I don't know why we have to teleport so far. Claire. Be Claire. It's an honor to have you with us, miss. Presume you come to assist us in our hunt for the blasphemy. Something like that. Maxima and Lucia will be pleased to hear it, if you would come this way. I have a feeling that it's going to be a while. It's good to see you, Claire, though I wish it were under more fortuitous circumstances. We were reluctant to call upon you, knowing you but recently returned from the far reaches of the heavens, but we are no less glad for your aid. Now then, I believe it best if the man who first discovered this blasphemy explain the situation. Of course. Ah, Claire, Good. We may forego introductions then. Thank you for answering our call for assistance. As for the situation at hand, it concerns a joint effort between the Forum and the Loporets to find new purpose for the moon. While there is no longer any need for a vessel to evacuate the star, we believe the moon may yet prove of use to the people of Atheris. After much contemplation, a rather ingenious proposal was put forward to transform the moon into a repository for man's knowledge, an archive of heretofore unseen scale. Charlene has long had the honor of boasting incomparable repositories of the world's knowledge. It is far from perfect. Should calamity befall us, natural or otherwise, the wisdom of ages we have long labored to preserve would be lost. But the moon is beyond any such risk. What's more, it is beyond the jurisdiction of any one nation. That makes a lot of sense. Thus did we consult the allied nations of Eorzea, the Far East, and Razadhan. They agreed to assembling a survey team to take measure of the moon and its potential as a repository. Our plans for assessment were forestalled, however, by the presence of an entity we believe to be a blasphemy in the Tower of Babil. Claims of Garlean citizens transforming into monsters shortly after its discovery only gave further credence to our initial supposition. But we not only ill tidings to share, reinforcements have been dispatched to aid us in quelling the blasphemy threats. Lord Arturel and a member of Gridania's Keeper of the Entwined Serpents have already begun an investigation into the catalyst of these transformations. Though the skies no longer burn and the spread of this affliction is much curtailed, we must remain vigilant. Until the blasphemy threat has been quelled, Alphino and Alize have graciously offered to help keep the calm of the people of Turtram while we attend to the people here. But the matter of the blasphemy is not so easily resolved, I am afraid. We recently met with certain complications that have hindered our plans. Yugiri and Fordola are presently deliberating how best to resolve the situation. Perhaps it would be best if you heard the details directly from them. I should like to join you if I may. As this endeavor was originally undertaken on Charlene's behalf, I feel it is my responsibility to see this through to its conclusion. That makes a lot of sense. I was wondering what they were planning on doing with the moon. To be honest, I was kind of contemplating like the whole idea that they make it into like an amusement park and have people come to visit them so they could still have interactions with mankind, and it would be like a fun experience for them. That was just me though. Somehow I should have known you would turn up eventually. One would think you weren't happy to see us, Fordola. We know you are. I do not expect to see you here of all places, but I am no less glad for your presence. I presume word of the blasphemy is what brought you here, in which case I believe it may be best if a member of the reconnaissance team's guard explain the situation. Oh, they just keep showing up. Oh, an acquaintance of yours? Long time no see, Lawrence. I had tell you where the worldly sort been bugging me if I know where you heard my name before. I'm just a lowly sword for hire, hoping to fatten my purse with a touch of mercenary work after taking my leave from Limsa. The job sounded simple enough, but, well, I'm sure you wouldn't be here if it weren't, eh? Well, you didn't come all this way to hear about me, did ye? The blasphemy we're after is making its nest in the upper reaches of the Tower of Babil. The auxiliary sector, I believe it was. It wasn't alone. A sizable horde of the beasts were circling around like knights protecting their queen. Naturally, we thought to strike from a distance before engaging in earnest, but not a single bullet reached its mark. They were protected by some manner of mystical shroud as far as I could figure. Without a keen eye for magic, I don't see anyone getting through. By the time we understood the futility of the situation, we'd been spotted. Retreat was our only option. Pains me to say it, but there won't be any brute forcing our way through this one. My understanding was that, once transformed, these blasphemies are completely devoid of ether. With what energies could it create with such a barrier? That's the question, isn't it? My first thought was some heretofore unknown technique for conjuring shields. Needless to say, I'm out of my depth when it comes to matters of magic. Which is precisely why I plan to speak with the Elder Seedseer when she arrives. If anyone can help us find a way to overcome the Blasphemies' protection, it's her. In the meantime, could we trouble you to help with the not-so-small matter of people changing into beasts? The Blasphemies horde was large enough when we first found it. We can't afford for more to join its ranks. Very well. We shall reconverse with Lord Artael and discuss strategy. Before you go, there's something else you should know about the tower. From the moment we set foot inside, I could swear there was someone or something watching us. I shrugged it off thinking it was a figment of my imagination, but in hindsight, I'm not so sure. Nothing to worry ourselves about now, but best keep a guard when we do finally reach the tower, eh? Why is it raining? It should not be raining here. Snow, yes, I can understand, but rain? Lord Hien will be arriving ere long. Aptly dressed for the cold, I should hope. Gosetsu would no doubt count himself fortunate to be absent if he knew where we were. I guess he doesn't like the cold then. Gods, what I wouldn't give for a nice hot bowl of soup. Arnval sends his regards, by the way. He asked me to tell you not to push yourself, but we all know what a waste of breath that'll prove to be. I think she worries. Oh, Fadola, don't ever change. I hope we see more of her in future expansions. I really do. She's great. And I noticed that they managed to take the choker off her, so she doesn't need to worry about being strangled. And what the hell is this guy's name? It's just bugging me that we don't know his name. Under normal circumstances, I would never dream of leaving the Elder Seer's side, but considering the nature of these blasphemies and the calamity they bring, she insisted a representative for Gridania precede her arrival. It appears the investigation into recent reports of refugees transforming is well underway. Oh, Artael. Claire, it's good to have you with us, my friend. Indeed, the road before us is not an easy one, and a woman of your talents will prove invaluable to our efforts. We but recently returned from reconnaissance wherein we made a few rather surprising discoveries. First and foremost, we are pleased to discover that no one residing within Camp Broken Glass or Turtrim have turned, no doubt thanks to the concerted efforts of Maxima, Alphino, and Alize. However, we have reason to believe that those who did turn all hail from Locus Amononis. You mean Corvos, the Garlean ancestral home? Very same. When the ill effects of the final days began to manifest there, a number of Garlean refugees from the region sought sanctuary in Garlemald. The capital was already in ruins when they arrived. They were offered asylum, but many refused and instead chose to fend for themselves on the outskirts of the city. We are of a mind to go and speak with them directly if you would care to join us. Perhaps together we can learn what of their recent circumstances has triggered such terrible change among their people. I think it's basically living in ruins. Okay, Frozen Hope. Artael is eager to begin his inquiry. Time being of the essence, I believe it prudent we split into two groups and cover as much ground as we may, as quickly as possible. If you and Master Fortuneau would inquire after the people at Victor's Spoils, the two of us shall see what we may learn at Liminal Station 4. When you have finished, pray meet us there. That's so cute. I like it how the Ellas and men bow like that. Victor spoils is to the east of here, yes? Let us be off. So we're gonna be traveling with Forshno. Wow. It's kind of awkward, to be honest. So, when I looked at the notes earlier, they did say that there's supposed to be like 5 quests altogether, as well as some kind of like instance battle. So it's actually going to be a pretty decent storyline, I guess, for this particular quest. I'm going to see if I can try to put it all together into one video, though. A nice way to wrap it all up. But they should choose to reside here in the cold. I can but presume they would not be amenable to conversation. Even so, we must not be deterred. Come. Well, I mean, if they're hungry and cold enough, I think that they'll be willing to at least hear us out. That's just me, though. Weary refugee. What is there to talk about? We've no home, no future, nothing. This doom spells the end of us all. Come to hear our grievances, have you? We've more than you have time to hear them, I'm sure. We've lost not one but 2 homes, our loved ones, our livelihood. There's nothing left. I served my time in the military, for what? Lose all my friends, my son, and then was not to show for it but our claim to Locus Amonas. Calamity was visited upon us for reasons we know not, and when we thought to flee, it followed us on our heels to Garlemald, ruin and ash at every turn. Okay, this is not good. No, not good at all for them. Shall we meet back here when we have finished? Well, I'm pretty much almost done, except for this guy. Can't imagine why you or anyone else would feign interest in our troubles, but if you insist. You'll find a great many of people here were in the military at one time or another, some retiring with honors and others without. Sadly, I'm one of the latter. Born one too many scars in battle. Even so, my contributions were enough to warrant leave to move to Locus Amonas. It was a land of warmth and bounty. The Covorsi rebellion admittedly proved troublesome for a time, but it didn't take long for the 2nd Legion to quell their uprising. You could practically drown in the calm and quiet. And then one day the skies came alive with flame. We were overrun by all manner of foul beasts born of our brothers and sisters. The 2nd Legion barely had time to assemble their forces before they were overrun and snuffed out. We barely escaped with our lives. But we were greeted only with more rack and ruin on our arrival here, and we've not the strength to take our home back from the Covorsi a 2nd time. There's nothing left for us anywhere. Did you learn aught of how they came to be in such dire straits? Pretty much. I can't say I'm surprised. I see. I've heard much the same. The military forces of Locus Amonas were defeated in the wake of the final days. Desperate to survive, they naturally fled to Garlemald seeking sanctuary. It was their hope the might of the Empire would allow them to reclaim the home they were forced to abandon. The capital was already in ruins when they arrived. Needless to say, the lands they have long believed to be the ancestral home of the Garlean people may remain forever lost to them. Well, seeing as how badly they treated the people who are currently living there, I can't say I blame it. Those unfamiliar with history would believe they have always resided in the bitter cold climes of northern Ishbard, but that was only after the Kororsi invaded 800 years prior. With the advent of Magitech, I imagine it was all too easy for Emperor Solus to rally his people and take back what they believed to be rightfully theirs. And they practically forced the current people into slavery. I know all of that thanks to the Reaper quest. Yet history would tell us true, that the land they call Locus Amanus has been known by other names and served as home to Miadid peoples. Indeed, one need only look back to Alagon's reign in the Third Astral Era to give the lie to Garlean claims of sovereignty. And even had they such ancestral ties to Locus Amanus, antecedents cannot justify their animosity to foreign peoples. Animosity poorly veiled by delusions of justice, as had been the case for so many nations throughout history. Would that man had the sense and strength of will to break free from such chains of hatred. Help! Someone help! They've turned! Oh no, another blasphemy. Another monster? Quickly, Claire, we haven't a moment to lose. He definitely seems more willing to take action now, so yay for that. Okay, I'm willing to bet it was that weary refugee we saw before who was moaning about the end of times and everything. Yep, it looks kind of like it. One of my mates seemed unwell, so I thought to come over and look in on him. Next thing I knew, No one appeared to be injured. Did he not attack? He just walked off in the direction of the tower, in a daze if it was calling to him. He could not have gone far. If you would go after him, I will remain here and see that all are accounted for. Yeah, so did not make it far. Oh no. I hate those things. They're so creepy. Like all those faces on like one ghastly form. Okay. Let's take you out. Put you out of your misery. The beast is slain, then. Thank the heavens. For a blessing, no others have turned, and the measure of calm has been restored, if only for the moment. Witnesses were able to offer a clue as to the source of the transformation. They claimed the afflicted was listening to this radio. Oh, not the radio again. Even now it continues to play the same cryptic message. What? I thought Anima was destroyed. Empire, no more. Never again. Rise. Ashes. Though distorted by radio static, you can hear a voice saying, "The Empire is no more. Never again shall it rise from the ashes." Wow, listening to that would definitely help push people over the edge. How is this possible? There are no facilities left standing that could possibly deliver a broadcast. The last time this happened, the signal came from the Tower of Babil. Be that as it may, Anima is no more, and the Tower of Babil has fallen into disrepair, by your hand no less. Which begs the question, who, or perhaps what, could be behind this? Claire, Master Fortuneau, a moment if you would. Oh, more old friends! Shortly after we finished our inquiry at Liminal Station 4, Lord Emmerich and Admiral Merweb arrived and requested an audience. Apologies for our late arrival. Knowing firsthand the devastation of which blasphemies are capable, I discussed the matter with the Admiral, and we were of one mind that the situation warrants our immediate presence. Safe to presume a representative of the survey team has already arrived? Indeed I have. Thank you for coming all this way on such short notice. Recent events here at the camp have proved most enlightening. And this is the aforementioned radio. Empire, no more. Never again. Rise. Ashes. A harsh reminder of their misfortune, sufficient to push some wayward few over the edge, it would seem. Yet there still remains the question of who is sending this message, and from where. Glory everlasting. Garlemald. For glory everlasting. For Garlemald? No, it couldn't be. You recognize this message? A mantra often spoken by Lord Nerva. Anyone who lived in the provinces under his authority would scarcely forget those words. Right! He's from Garlemald, basically. He sought to claim the throne after the assassination of Emperor Varus, did he not? After civil war broke out, he all but disappeared according to the intelligence we managed to gather. How could he have managed to breach the tower undetected? To have done so and remain unnoticed by the creatures infesting the tower seems nigh an impossible task. Unless... Oh boy. So, it's Nerva who's the blasphemy. You think the voice on the radio was Nerva? In a matter of speaking, yes. Not as the man he once was, but as a blasphemy. Robbed of the throne and forced to watch the empire he longed to command crumble before his very eyes? If such loss did not drive him to the same fate as Quintus, the despair he felt no doubt overcame and turned him. Nerva's illusions of grandeur aside, the Garlean's plight sounds not unlike the Sahagin, desperate to preserve their spawning grounds. Indeed, though unscrupulous by any measure, the Garleans found solidarity in their ideology, as did the people of Ishgard in the Church. Adrift without home or purpose, it is all too easy for despair to take hold. Would that a remedy were as simple as offering them land as we did the Sahagin. In all likelihood, the Garleans would refuse to settle for aught less than what they believed to be their ancestral homeland of Locus Amones, a claim the Kovorsi would readily take arms to denounce. We would do well not to further fan the flames of animosity between them. Then perhaps at the very least we can offer them peace of mind, and means to regain some semblance of stability in their lives. To offer them true comfort and stability, Garlemald must be rebuilt. That is true, I do agree with that. By no means an easy solution, and perhaps the only one worthy of pursuit. Of course, this new Garlemald must remain a sovereign nation, free from the oversight of others. Aye, they would see no meaning in it otherwise. If I'm not mistaken, Alphino and Alice have already made strides in helping the people here regain some normalcy in their day-to-day living. A most important first step, but it would mean little without proper leadership. Rather than a single individual, perhaps a governing body of sorts would prove more effective. There are a number of former Senate members among the refugees at Camp Broken Glass, as I recall. With their help, creating the framework for new governance is not an impossibility. The Then let us call the people together and see what they make of our proposal. I do think that the whole concept of having a single leader is definitely a bad idea. So it's definitely a good start. The final days have taken much from you all. I can but imagine the pain you feel in the face of such immeasurable loss. And though the final days have been averted, its effects yet linger, and a blasphemy has been born of your suffering. Decisive action must be taken before further harm is wrought upon you. To overcome such adversity is too great a task for any one person, but as a people united, there may yet be hope for the morrow. While it is not our place to decide how you will move forward, we would offer a small measure of guidance. We were told a number of your former members of your Senate yet remain among you. Would you be amenable to an interim government led by these individuals until such time as Garlemald can be rebuilt? Rebuilt Garlemald. Is such a thing truly possible? Even if we do cobble together some governing council, they won't be making anything of that pile of ash we dare call Garlemald. There's no going back to Locus Amunes either. Rack and ruin, those are our only options. I realize to rebuild Garlemald is a seemingly impossible task, that you needn't undertake it alone. My children are working with members of the First Legion as we speak to begin an organized relief effort. And there are others from the provinces no doubt willing to lend their expertise. You need but ask, not as would-be conquerors, but as brothers and sisters of this star, and others will heed your call. If you should still see no merit in the rebuilding of Garlemald, then I would instead offer you residentry in Charlian. I promise you will be welcome with open arms. Charlian? So now you expect us to go and lick boots in some country we've never even heard of? My apologies if I appeared overly forward in my proposition. Considering our strict policies on non-intervention until but recently, it is not surprising that you are unfamiliar with my homeland. It is an island nation to the north, home to Meodid peoples, which is why I believe it would not prove difficult to accommodate you and yours. To be clear, you would not be migrating to Charlian to live in servitude. You have my word that each and every one of you would be guaranteed citizenship upon entry. And why exactly would we go to such lengths for... And why exactly would you go to such lengths for us? For the conquerors you barely know? Charlian was long aware of the coming doom that would be the final days, and so we were preparing to evacuate the star, taking as many people and resources as our stores would allow. Initially, it was our intent to save the people of Garlemald as well, but we had not forgotten your transgressions invading Alamigo, your rejections of our entreaties for peace. After a great deal of deliberation, it was decided that we would forego an invitation to Garlemald, a determination made with great trepidation. We had convinced ourselves it was ultimately for the greater good, though I can think of at least one individual who would continue to protest. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. Sage counsel I brazenly cast aside when confronted with the final days in earnest. But Claire here and her companions refused to forsake those we were otherwise unwilling to save. With great risk to themselves, they achieved the impossible and opened my eyes to the error of the Forum's decision. She's a girl, can you not tell? If all other roads lead to ruin regardless, perhaps we should at least consider it. Then it would be my pleasure to invite you all to Camp Broken Glass, where you shall have warm food and beds both. Okay, so some are still clearly not happy about this. Admiral Merweb and I shall speak with Maxima and the others, and consider how best to assist the Garleans moving forward. Should we broach the subject of the blasphemy, however, we will not hesitate to call upon you. Ooh, what's this? Somebody watching. Okay, so that's the end of Frozen Hope. Why not? Wait, no. Even better. Let's take this one. Yeah, why not? Okay. Misguided few. Though visibly relieved the Garleans are safe, the hardness in Fortuno's eyes suggest your work is far from done. With the Garleans' hearts at ease, the likelihood of others turning has greatly diminished. That said, there's no cause for us to grow complacent. We must needs find a way to overcome the Blasphemies' protective warding. If I understand correctly, a Blasphemy's behavior is oftentimes influenced by the memories and emotions of their originator, in which case it would be prudent to learn more of the man who birthed this monstrosity. How fortuitous, then, that a number of soldiers from the 3rd Legion are in our custody. For a mercy, their tempering was not so severe as to be beyond our ability to heal them. They are presently being treated at Camp Broken Glass. Perhaps the camp's intelligence officer can tell us who among them knows aught of Nerva's whereabouts. Okay, so it was Nerva. I mean, we've been hearing about Nerva here and there for a while now. I don't think it was until... Yeah, it was the very end of Heavensward where we first learned of Nerva. I don't think we even heard his name until around Stormblood. And we don't even know what this guy looks like. If I had to guess, I would say that he was probably a really big, buff dude, kind of like Varus and Xeno, so that's my best bet. Which is funny because... No, wait, no, MXL, he was actually kind of a scrawny guy. But apparently in his older years, he was pretty buff too. Body hopping, what can you do? I see. Perhaps it'd be best if you speak with Vergelia, legatus of the 3rd Legion. Oh, I remember her. She's still in the men, but the Chirurgeons aren't like to oppose a brief conversation. If you would wait here a moment. Yeah, she was the one that Sadhu had such a great time fighting with on the Strait. Oh, so that's what she looks like. Eorzea's champion, I presume, and one of her cohorts. What business have you with me? Isambard is faced with immediate crisis. We believe the knowledge you bear may be key in stopping it. Thus do we believe the blasphemy to be Nerva. His whereabouts in the wake of Garlemald's fall, or lack thereof, give credence to our theory. Lord Nerva. From what we have pierced together thus far, you were one of the last to see him alive. Please, will you not share with us what you know? Very well, though I suspect what meager knowledge I possess shall avail you not. I last spoke with Lord Nerva shortly after the warring with the First Legion began. Cloistered within the lower levels of the Senacrums Imperialis, he spent the better part of the day listening attentively to the radio. He seemed hopeful, or perhaps desperate, for news that the tide might turn in our favor. Man, it's huge. The next day I left for the front line. I was there when I heard a terrible noise, which I assume came from the Tower of Babil. Then darkness took me. I remember naught after that. I was told the radios protected those close to them from the effects of the tower, in which case Lord Nerva would have remained unaffected. But he has ever been devoted to Garlemald, for glory everlasting, he would say. To watch the empire he loves so dearly crumble, I could think of no one who would be more stricken by the sight. It would seem we were right to assume what became of Nerva. It does not surprise me the beast would choose to make its nest within the Tower of Babil. It stands atop the remains of the Imperial Palace and the throne he revered so highly. But the Empire is no more, and Lord Nerva, apparently, is no longer the man he once was. He deserves to be laid to rest, together with his dreams of glory. We will fell the beast, you have my word. Apologies for the interruption. Kan-E-Senna has arrived and we're ready to depart. It's good to see you, Claire, Master Fortuneau. I have spoken with Lorenz of the ward protecting the Blasphemy, and I'm quite confident some matter of ether-based magic bars our path. If I may be so bold, Elder Seats-Seer, we reached the same conclusion initially, but that simply is not possible. These creatures born of the final days are devoid of ether. As such, they would be unable to produce such a barrier in the manner to which we are accustomed. Do you suppose it's possible they manipulated dynamists to achieve a similar effect? I too stopped to dismiss the notion of a barrier filled by ether. That isn't until I set foot here in Garlemald. Even now I can sense streams of ether flowing towards the tower. Its purpose was, after all, to harvest reservoirs of energy sufficient to reach the moon. Even if one was incapable of manipulating ether directly, it stands to reason control of the tower would elevate such a need. It is merely conjecture, of course. I cannot say for certain until I have examined the currents with mine own eyes. May I ask you to accompany us? I will join you as well, if I may. My injuries would keep me from being of use in battle, but my knowledge of the land should serve just as well as my blade. I would not be opposed to your company, but it is not my decision to make. She may go, so long as she remains under watch by you and the others. Very good. I suggest we begin with Regilio Urbanesima. I sense the greatest confluence of ether in that facility. That person's still following us. I got a good idea who it is, but yeah, maybe I shouldn't say too much. So are we going to go off and storm the tower again? This time with like all of our many friends here? That would be awesome and just so badass. Like all of the nation leaders that we're going to go charging into the tower and fight alongside. That would be so much fun. Okay, let's see here. Oh man, I can see why so many people are like doubtful that they'd be able to rebuild the city. Look at this place, it's a mess. I had word that Alden should be arriving before long. I can already picture him knocking his knees, muttering under his breath about the cold. Well, that's true. He's from Alamigo and spent a large portion of his life in Udal. Part of me does not wish to believe this blasphemy is Lord Nerva, that I failed to protect him, and yet I will never understand how anyone could grow accustomed to such cold climes. I guess you just get used to it anyway. I'm sure it's just my imagination, but I can't help but fear we're being watched again. It seemed I had underestimated the resourcefulness of our adversary. As I thought, the ether stream here flows towards the tower, as do all others in this region, no doubt. This convergence first began when the Telophoroi erected spires in all corners of Eorzea to fuel the Tower of Babil. But once destroyed, this divergence of ether should have ceased. Alright, whoever you are, if you've business with us, quit your skulking about in the shadows and speak your piece. Was you there in the tower, wasn't it? I think I kind of slipped into it like a Scottish accent by accident there. Aha! I knew it! My, you're sharper than you look. That is not a compliment. I recognize you. Nero, yes? Why are you following us? Who said I'm following you? Being a native of Garlemald, does it not stand to reason I might be inclined to come and see what has become of my home? I know not what you're scheming, but we've no time to entertain your games. Perhaps Master Garland would make better company for you. Spare me. I am a man of great ambition and greater intellect, far beyond the scope of anything Garland could hope to achieve. He still keeps his head in the clouds, while I would set my sights to the stars above. Which is why you snuck into the tower, but like us, you couldn't get past the blasphemy to reach the transporter. Yes, well, I was very much hoping you would dispense with that little obstacle. And having caught wind of your plans, curiosity compelled me to see if you were truly up to the task. Do you have reason to believe we are not? Or perhaps does the great genius Nero mean to dispense with the blasphemy himself? Well, be it for me to steal your glory, having come all this way, but as I am a feeling generous, I will tell you what I learned during my time in the Tower of Babil. I was able to access its systems, you see, and discovered one of those dreadful spires still appears to be active. Impossible! They all vanished when Anima was destroyed. Yes, and I've heard of your escapees reclaiming the remains of the Emperor, but obviously you failed to reclaim his entire body. As it stands, a piece remains powering a tower at Fabrica. I have never heard of that place before. Ah yes, the manufacturing district, just north of the erstwhile Imperial Palace. A rather impressive feat, considering how these lands are so utterly devoid of ether, barely enough to sustain life, let alone the spire. But if one were to use Varus's remains to forcibly create a confluence of sorts... Precisely, and from what I gleaned of the tower systems, his heart serves as its core. Coursing not with blood, but your precious ether, and now Nerva has assembled a surfeit to shore up his defenses. How fortuitous he should find so perfect an impetus for his design, stolen from better minds than his own. How very like him. Oh, did I say that out loud? You'll forgive me if I fail to show concern for your ire. If what you say is true, these ants could never hope to recover from such a paucity of life energies. We must hurry and find Varus's heart, to both spare the land this wanton harvesting and deny the blasphemy the source of its protection. Are we to presume you have any intention of aiding us? As I said, I've no intention of stealing your glory, though I fear victory may soon slip from your fingers if you do not act quickly. The Tower of Babil was designed specifically for anima to serve as its core. Nerva forcing himself upon the system has caused it to grow increasingly unstable. If my calculations are correct, and they always are, it will not be long before his presence triggers a system meltdown. The resulting explosion will destroy whatever tenuous streams of ether breathe life into the lands of Garlemald. But more importantly, we will lose our only means of reaching the moon, the heavens forever denied by genius. Oh, how very unfortunate. In any event, it would seem time is of the essence. That's all well and good, but even if we know which district to search, finding the heart would be like looking for a needle in a bloody haystack. Actually, I may know where we can start. It's all rather hazy, but I still have vague recollections of my time serving anima when I was enthralled. Really, that's a first. We were commanded to erect some manner of facility tucked away in the corner of Fabrica. I remember not what it was for, but it's as good a place as any to begin our search. Certainly sounds promising, but surely this facility will be heavily guarded. Then maybe it'll be for the best to divide our forces. If it's just the four of us, shouldn't prove too difficult to sneak inside and find the hots. Meanwhile, our main force can stand ready to storm the Tower of Babil when the barrier gives out. Alright, that's fine. I'm used to this kind of crazy plans anyway. This is Levier. What? Very well, we shall return at once. A number of Garleans have left camp for the Tower of Babil. They have somehow misunderstood the threat of the tower and convinced themselves that Nerva has taken refuge there, still clinging to their ill-placed patronism, no doubt. They would not have gone far. If we act quickly, perhaps they can be found before they come to harm. A wise man should not waste his time on a few wayward refugees. I thought you Charlian scholars knew better. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, sir. If it's all the same to you, Claire, I would join you. I will return to camp and begin preparations for our assault on the tower. I suppose I should go as well. Just let him do what he wants. But man, Fortuno, you've really changed. I am unarmed. I promise not to be a burden. That said, it would behoove us to avoid any undue confrontations if possible. Now then, let us be off. Oh, now he's coming with us. There's no time to lose. If they should reach the tower, there's no telling what may happen to them. Okay, so hopefully it's not too far. Ooh, crap. Probably not the best to have a companion where there's monsters who can attack you at any second. But man, he really seems to be taking his father's words deeply to heart now. I kinda like it. I guess the threat of the final days being over has really done a lot to take the burden off his mind, I guess. No trace of them here. Let us keep searching. Okay, keep moving forward. Man, it is a dump! How can they rebuild anything from this mess? I mean, at least with Ishgar, they had at least a foundation. Here, there's like nothing left. Help, someone, please! Did you hear that? It came from over there. Okay, guess we're flying again. Oh, it's them again! I recognize them. Ooh, okay. So he's trying to protect them. He doesn't have a weapon. That is not a smart... You're a scholar, Portia. Now, I would have thought you would have at least brought a weapon to protect yourself. Okay, that was quick. They're understandably shaken, but otherwise appear to be unharmed. You're the ones who came to speak with us before. We heard Lord Nerva had returned and was assembling his forces in the tower, but... No, not Lord Nerva, too. And there really is nothing left for us. I'll not deny your situation is dire, but you are not without a path forward. I believe you for the passion and conviction needed to rebuild Garlemald if you so choose. Or failing that, you could begin life anew in Sharlayan. Yeah, so you have options. Rebuild Garlemald? No, there is no point in entertaining so lofty a dream, and we would sooner die than suffer life under the rule of another. You would sooner seek death than sanctuary? Your resolve is admirable, but sorely misplaced. If you would not see Garlemald rise from the snow and ashes here in Ishabard, might you consider venturing into a new frontier? A new frontier? And where exactly is this land ripe for exploration? There, on the moon. It is our goal to create a repository of man's knowledge there, free from the jurisdiction of any nation. As I understand, the magitech and technological advancements of Garlemald were without peer. Your expertise would be indispensable in the endeavor, should you be willing, of course. You really expect us to go and live on the bloody moon? Is such a thing even possible? Have you a better alternative? Lest you forget, Garlemald did not rise to grandeur from the complacency in the present or rumination in the past. We live for the future. It is in our blood. Life is not without its hardships, of course. Even I have met with the occasional stumbling block. Even should I stumble, my eyes are forever fixed skyward, seeking ever greater heights. The Empire may be lost, but I still possess a great deal of knowledge gained from it and a desire to seek more. The very notion of exploring the moon is an unprecedented prospect, and that you would balk at the proposition boggles the mind. Consider this, you have heard the beasts of the final days were born of those hapless souls that had given up on everything, yes? If that is indeed the case, can you tell me why you still stand before me? Because deep down, you believe your life is yet worth living. Deep down, you long to reach for the unreachable. Or perhaps you don't. If you should choose to lay down and die here in the snow, that's none of my concern. Reach for the unreachable. That sounds like something I would have said back at the academy. Alright, we'll go. I suppose it's better than dying here in the snow, as you so grimly put it. Then we must first dispense with the blasphemy that commands the tower. It's hard to believe Lord Nerva, of all people, could be turned into one of those monsters. Please, you must stop him. Put his soul to rest. Thank you, and I'm sorry for causing all this trouble. You did good, Nero. You did. Thank you for the rousing call to action, but I thought you had no interest in meddling in our affairs. At least you misunderstand. I abhor the idea of my countrymen blindly following nobles they know next to nothing about. Besides, it would be a most piteous sight for not a single Garlean to be among those venturing to the moon. Who else am I to prevail upon to learn of new findings up there? Oh, Nero, what are we gonna do with you? You're pain, but you're the funny kind of pain. I told myself I wouldn't get overly involved, and yet here I am. Okay, Forlorn Glory. Fortuno is eager to regroup and make ready for battle. Really? Mr. Pacifist himself. Okay, screw it. I'm try it here. What Nero's told us, time is now a luxury we can ill afford. Let us return to Camp Broken Glass, if only for the moment. The others are no doubt finishing their preparations for battle. Yeah, I'm just teleporting straight back there. I'm not going to be flying out unless I have to. Okay, so that was actually a really inspiring speech, Nero. I'm actually deeply impressed by that. And yeah, that is a third option, so people can go and still live on the moon. The Loporeds will be more than happy for that. Is there a reason why you're lurking underneath a giant mechanical dragon, my friend? I sure hope the other's absence means all proceeds apace. Good, you're here. With the recent arrival of reinforcements, our preparations are all but complete. You look a bit cold there. Apologies for our lateness. It seems we are at least in time to help deliver the crushing blow. Aye, if the fates are kind, this will be the last we see of these damnable blasphemies. Commander Aldin, Lord Hien, thank you both for coming. Yes, of course. Understood. Lorenz and the others have reclaimed Varus' heart. The barrier protecting the blasphemy should soon dissipate. Then the time has come to at last storm the Tower of Babil. Again! Admiral Merwib and Lord Emmerich await our arrival at its base. Then we should be about it, eh? I suppose this is as good an opportunity as any to keep my hammer from rusting over. Hey, if he wants to help, I say let him. will accompany you as well. As the forum's representative and a member of the survey team, I feel it is my responsibility to see this through to the end. I didn't take you for the fighting type. Despite appearances, I am no stranger to the battlefield. Indeed, I have seen my fair share traveling the world in service to the Forum. Though I may not be the equal of Alphino or Alize, we shall not find ourselves wanting, I can promise you that much. So he will be fighting with us. That is nice. When you have all finished your preparations, we shall reconverse at the Enceladum. Okay, flying back. I don't want to fly back. It's gonna be a long wait. Oh boy. Okay, I'm just gonna skip a little bit ahead just so that we can reach the front door, I guess. Alright, so we're here, and yes, it is an instance duty, so we're about to go charging in, and Fortuno does have the Noroliths on his back, so he's gonna be fighting with us as a sage, which we kind of already suspected. Alright, so I feel like I'm as ready as I'll ever be. All the presents accounted for. Shall we proceed? Okay, progress of the battle will save at certain points. In the event that you are defeated, you may... Okay. Alright, I'm ready. Let's go. Oh. Weather got nicer. This is one hell of a force with us. Our objective is simple. Locate and eliminate the blasphemy, Nerva. Though the barrier guarding him is no more, a number of beasts will surely block the way at the auxiliary sector. Off to a smashing start, I see. It would seem the tower will reach its limit sooner than I anticipated. I thought you said your calculations were never wrong. If we're to save the transporter, we must hurry and find Nerva. Now! I love this! I really love this! We got like a member like from everywhere. We have all the nations of Eorzea. We have the Far East, we have Garlemald and Charlie, and all joined together. All we need is someone from Razat Han and we'd be set. I love this! Go without saying, but stay on your guard. There was quite the menagerie of horrors when last I was here. Taking off at the same time. They're upon us. To arms! My weapon and I shall hold them off. Press on, my friends.
The path has been revealed. The winds favor us.
A persistent lot, aren't they? Oh, wow. What was that voice, Emmerich? That doesn't sound like your usual voice. I shall hold the line here. When you see an opening, take it, and do not look back. Oh, he just went charging off to deal with those things. Okay. Oh, he's holding them off on his own now? Oh man, this is where we fought the first boss, I think. Never did make things easy. Let's get this over with. I'm sorry, in my mind, Nero just sounds so preppy. He's just one of those people that... he's like a Karen, but not really like a Karen. He thinks that he's right and he knows everything. More are coming. Stay sharp. Oh no. No. I don't like that. What the heck was that? I mean, at least those horse things are kind of cool looking, but I hate the giant worms. They just... I can't take them seriously. I'm sorry, I just cannot. They just look like overgrown caterpillars with horns or something. There's no end to them. Man, I can't wait to see what Nerva's gonna look like when he appears. Careful there, Livier. They have their eyes set on you. Oh no. Well, at least he thanks us. I think we've really grown on him. I really do. I mean, I don't think he'll ever see us as like a family member or anything like his children do, but you know, I think it's gotten to a point that, you know, he enjoys our company, but he doesn't want to come out and say it. That Levier pride, what can I say? Oh god, come on! They just keep coming! Oh, not those things. Self-destruct? Oh crap, this can't be good. I'll see to the rabble. You focus on the large one there. Very well. With me, Claire. Oh, is this a limit break?
Enough.
Nice one here. Nice one. Oh crap, it's inflating itself. It's kind of neck and neck right now, but we're catching up. Oh no, he's gonna blow! There we go. Please tell me that was the last one. Yes! Is that the last of them? Of course not. You just had to ask, didn't you, Reborn? Of course not. Just said that. We can't afford for them to impede or advance any further. Commander Alden, let us hold them here. Master Fortuno, take the others and go. Quickly! Understood. Oh no. Oh. Blasphemy, Nerva, yell Galvus. I'm surprised he can still speak. Well, was not expecting that design, but I'm gonna go with it. And where is it? Come on, I have a handful of those. I might as well use them now. It says here, Nerva, for Garlemald, her people, and all who call this star home. Blasphemy or no, I'll not suffer anyone who gets in my way. Oh man, that picture was just so weird. I think his children were a good influence on him, though. I mean, Fortuno, like, you don't really seem like the same person anymore. Oh, crap. I forgot about the stupid mechanic you'd think I wouldn't have, like, from Amarot. Oh, no. No. What does that mean? Hold on, Claire. Hurry, Olivier. I have you. Oh, he just rescued me. Thank you for that. I was taking offensive. Well played. Oh, that can't be good. Oh no. It's fine. It's fine. We're good. We're good here. If there's one thing this game has taught me, it's that if violence does not solve our problems, we just haven't resorted to enough of it yet. What are these things supposed to do? Oh no. I was gonna say, really? That was all that those clouds of darkness were gonna do? But now I get it. Yes, I get it now. Okay, we're getting there. We're more than halfway there now. Why do I have a bad feeling something terrible is about to be sprung at the last second? Okay, I'm really getting sick of this move. Oh no, I don't like this. Bring them here and leave the rest to me. Okay, come on big guys, come on. Come on, follow me. You can thank me later. Behind me quickly, I shall take the brunt of it. Wow! Go Fortuno. We must drive it back! Oh, we're supposed to fight it. Okay. Gotta be good. Almost there. You can hold it out just a little bit longer. We've come too far to give up now. And let's put an end to this, shall we? Must it yield? Not now. Sorry, big guys. For your own good. There we go. There we go. Yes. Woo! What'd I say? Violence solves everything in this game if you just hit it hard enough. For glory everlasting indeed. Oh, they're okay! Is it over? Has the danger passed? By a hair's breadth, perhaps, but yes, I'd say we managed to avoid a fiery ruin. Our path to the moon is open once more. The duty of Charlene has ever been to chart the course of history, not to change it. Thus did we fervently hold in our policies of neutrality and non-intervention. In truth, it was all in service to our plan of exodus, to abandon this star to its ruinous fate. Harsh though it may sound, I still believe it was ultimately for the greater good. Thanks to you and your comrades, however, it was a fate that did not come to pass. Charlene will now find a new way forward, not merely for the preservation of knowledge, but for the betterment of this star and all who call it home. I believe I speak for all the Forum when I say it would be an honor and a privilege to work towards such a goal alongside the allied nations. Aye, an age of true and everlasting peace is finally within our grasp, and we will seize it, together. It sounds so nice. I mean, after all the hell these people have gone through. It seems like such a nice idea. I wonder how long that will last, though. As much as I would enjoy a riveting conversation with Eorzea's champion, I really must make ready for the moon. Now, if you'll excuse me. Raining again. Seriously? It's a relief to know we've no longer a need for battle. Despite my experience, I must confess I am ill-suited to it. The allied nations' leaders, meanwhile, demonstrated an aptitude for combat far and above what I might expect from diplomatic figures. And you, my friend, I see now why you're so well regarded as Eorzea's champion. You just noticed that now. The others have already begun the arduous journey home, but before you go, I would offer a word of thanks to the both of you. If not for your timely assistance, our plans would be forfeit, and the lands of Ishabard ever defiled by the blasphemy. Please, I've no need for your platitudes. I labor only to further my own ends, nothing more. Oh, it's you again. You heard the news. Thank you for everything. With Lord Nerva laid to rest, we've the peace of mind to move on without regrets. When did you show up? There you are! Now what's this I've heard about you cleaning out the Tower of Babil? Are we finally ready to return to the moon? Ah, what fortuitous timing. Allow me to introduce you to Livingway of the Lopperets, Moon Dweller and Overseer of the survey team. Livingway, these good people will be the moon's first residents. I trust you and the other Lopperets will take good care of them. Pleased to meet you? Residents? Oh no! I mean, oh yes! Splendid! After many, many long years of planning and preparation, the moon is absolutely, most definitely ready to accommodate your stay. Provided that you like carrots, that is. Had to hear it, and apologies for the delay. I must first confer with Lawrence and see to our final preparations, but your residence-to-be in the survey team shall be along ere long. Might I trouble you to relay word of our success to Sharabatha in Rasat Han? I should think the tidings are all the more heartening coming from you. Until next we meet. Wait, you're not leaving for the moon without me! Just let him go. He's earned it. That creepy aura is still around the tower, so I wonder what they're gonna do with that thing. I mean, now that it's cleared out, if they take care of, like, any kind of malicious, like, traps or anything inside, the people could probably just move right on in there. Ooh, that would be cool. They make it into like a giant hotel or something. I mean, it's definitely big enough to hold a whole city. But, you know, I'm feeling a little sad because, I mean, how many more chances are we going to be able to actually speak with, like, the nation leaders, like Emmerich and Hien and the others? I mean, we're going to be moving on to bigger and better things, maybe like to the 13th or to the New World, to Mericidia, other shards, maybe to other stars, other time periods. I don't know. But it just feels a little bit sad that we're not going to be seeing them nearly as much as we used to. Like, especially when it comes to Emmerich. I don't care what anyone says. He has to be one of my most absolute favorite characters here. It's so sad that we don't get to see him nearly as much as before. And nor have we heard his voice for a long time, that velvety smooth voice. Oh well, I guess this is gonna be it. So it's true then, the blasphemy in Garlemald has been struck down. They were right to call on you, it seems. And with no other outstanding reports on blasphemy sightings, I dare say you've slain the last of them. Perhaps now we can finally start to put the final days behind us, strange though that may sound. On behalf of my fellow delegates and the Radiant host, I extend to you our humblest thanks. I hope when next I call on you, it'll be under more fortuitous tidings. Oh, it's done! I don't want it to be done! Ah, the mighty hero returns. You can almost hear the world taking a collective sigh of relief when the Blasphemies defeated. Still, it's no excuse for us to rest on our laurels. We will remain diligent in our search for potential threats, and if any should arise, I hope we'll be able to call on you once more. No, it doesn't look like they say anything different. Alright, I guess that's it. So that's the end of the role quest. That's doing everything from top to bottom, and as much as I love the... I don't want to say goodbye, but we unfortunately have to. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all looking forward to the next videos, and otherwise have a wonderful rest of your day.